their mouth. We'll start off. Namaste, Subodayam, Subadinam to all the participants and to our two respectful guests, Sri Kautilya ji and Balaji Sukumar, for participating in this very interesting webinar as part of our series of webinars on building a resurgent India. So there's a very interesting topic that we have chosen for gaining more knowledge. Vedic agriculture for building a resurgent India, that is to be understood, to be thought of, and if possible to be implemented and find out the real value of it. So we shall start with our prayer of the Institute of Ramakrishna Math and continue this forward. Sthapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharmasvarupine avatara varisthaya Ramakrishnaya te namaha yathagner dahika shakti Ramakrishne stitahiya sarvavidya swarupam tam sharadam pranamamyaham Namah Shri Yatirajaya Vivekananda Suraye Satchit Sukaswarupaya Swamine Tapaharine Agnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om. Let us pray for the well-being of all people, for the strength and good of all people, for the health and to help people to be free from diseases, difficulties and dangers. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet, sarvastaratu durgani, sarvo bhadrani pashyatu, sarvasad buddhimapnotu, sarvas sarvatra nandatu, durjana sajjano bhuyat, sajjana shanti mapnuyat, शान्तो मुच्येत बन्देभ्यो मुक्तश्चान्यान् विमोचयेत्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः Om. Today is the second day of the Holy Navaratri of our Hindu tradition, the worship of God as Mother Durga, and I shall chant the Durga Gayatri few times, then one prayer to the Divine Mother, and then we will continue with the other part of the webinar. Om Katyayanaaya Vidmahe Kanyakumari Dhimahi Tanno Durgih Prachodayat. 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 Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Matrarupena Samstita Shakti Rupena Samstita Buddhi Rupena Samstita Shanti Rupena Samstita Shraddha Rupena Samstita Matra Rupena Samstita Namastasyai 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 Namo Namaha. Offering our salutations to the Divine Mother Durga to bestow us that wisdom, that enlightenment, the strength to all of us to lead a pure life, a spiritual life, a divine life, a life of purpose, a life of service, a life of contribution to fellow human beings, to the nature, and also to the entire universe. So this Navaratri is very, very important for all of us. And in this part of the Navaratri, we are thinking of the Vedic agriculture, the traditions, the principles of how our great ancient sages delved deep into nature, into cultivation, into crops, into trees, into fruits, nuts, and other herbs for the welfare of entire country and humanity. So to go forward in this program, we have Kartik Raman with us from Bengaluru, who is an accomplished singer, a young artist of India, our brother from Hyderabad, from Bangalore.
Namaste, Swamiji.
Top musicians of the country in the form of Shankar Mahadevan, etc., and others. So Kartik is a playback singer, composer, and a music creative artist, should I say, of the younger generation. So we are thankful. He is fit, healthy, and strong today to share a bhajan with us and to take this message forward. Over to Kartik Raman from Bengaluru.
Thank
Yes,
you so much,
Kartik.
Swamiji. Thank you so much. Pranams, namaskarams to everybody, and a very, very happy Navaratri. Like Swamiji said, may Goddess, the Devi Ma, bless us all. And I would like to start this event with a small bhajan to the Devi, to the Goddess of knowledge, to the Goddess of music, the Saraswati Devi. हे शारदे माँ, हे शारदे माँ, हे शारदे माँ, हे शारदे माँ, अज्ञानता से हमें तार दे माँ, अज्ञानता से हमें तार दे माँ, हे शारदे माँ, हे शारदे माँ। तू स्वर की देवी है, संगीत तुझसे, हर शब्द तेरा है, हर गीत तुझसे। तू स्वर की देवी है, संगीत तुझसे, हर शब्द तेरा है, हर गीत तुझसे। हम हैं अकेले, हम हैं अधूरे, हम हैं अकेले, हम हैं अधूरे, तेरी शरण में हमें प्यार दे माँ, तेरी शरण में हमें प्यार दे माँ। हे शारदे माँ, हे शारदे माँ, अज्ञानता से हमें तार दे माँ। मुनियों ने समझी है, गुणियों ने जानी, मुनियों ने समझी है, गुणियों ने जानी, वेदों की भाषा, पुराणों की वाणी, वेदों की भाषा, पुराणों की वाणी। हम भी तो समझें, हम भी तो जाने, हम भी तो समझें, हम भी तो जाने, विद्या का हमको अधिकार दे माँ, विद्या का हमको अधिकार दे माँ। हे शारदे माँ, हे शारदे माँ, हे शारदे माँ। Thank you.
Mother Saraswati bless you, bless all of us. Kartik,
Thank you so much, Swamiji.
A few words about this song and the tune.
Yes. So this song, like I said, is about Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge, the goddess of Vidya. And like you just said, what our ancient ancestors, they talked about the Vedas. And we all know that these Vedas and these Puranas have immense knowledge and immense relevance even today. And this song also talks about when it says, Muniyon ne samjhi hai, Guniyon ne jani. Our ancestors know Vedon ki bhasha, Puranon ki vani, the Vani of the Vedas, the Vani of the Puranas. And like you said, how we can incorporate the Vedic agriculture now. We all must learn from our glorious past, and we all must pray to the goddess Saraswati to give us the knowledge, to give us the humility, to learn it, what our ancestors have told so many years back. So yeah, that's what the song talks about, Swamiji.
Very nice of you.
Thank you.
Very loving of you, and keep coming, stay fit.
Thank
Do
you.
your
Thank you.
yoga, do your sadhana, and may Mother Durga bless you in the next couple of days.
Thank you. Thank you. Pranam, Swamiji. Thank you.
Carry this message of music and swaram, talam, bhavam to the whole country.
Thank you. Thank you, Swamiji.
Thank you. Namaste. Meet again.
Namaste. Namaste. Pranam, Swamiji.
That was Kartik Raman from Bangalore, our devotee, well-wisher, faculty, and occasionally comes to Hyderabad for sharing his music knowledge with our children. And thanks to technology, we have been able to connect with him, staying in his house in Bangalore, and we in Hyderabad, in spite of the rains, in spite of the flood-like situation, we are having this wonderful bhajan and then this wonderful webinar of discussion. Right. So we shall take it forward, this message of Vedic agriculture in to build a resurgent India. This Vedic agriculture, great concepts which we shall learn from Kautilya Krishna and Balaji Sukumar, the great masters, great sages of India, were keen about cultivation, were keen about the crops, about the union with nature, the harmony with nature, and they had a brilliant idea of seasonal crops. They had ideas of fruit, trees, according to the different seasons, different climates, different regions. And then they keenly studied nature and the benefits of herbs, plants to children, to adults, to old age, to various diseases. So somehow or the other, we have lost that music. We have lost that vibrations of ancient culture thanks to various factors, historical factors, and then the British education, etc. And they had the idea of perfect soil, manuring, and different graftings, etc. And gurukulams were full of that knowledge. One guru having diverse students from different backgrounds. Even girls were participating in that interactions, in high debates. The great Upanishads and the Vedic mantras that we have got down from our ancestors. One such thing which we usually chant in our meditation and prayers is so interesting. How universal and how vibrant was their concept. I'll just read out that portion and take this message forward. Madhuvata rutayate madhuksharanti sindhavaha madvirna sanposhadhihi madhunakta mutoshasi madhumatparthivagam rajaha madhudyaurastu nafpita madhumanno vanaspatir madhumagum astu suryah madvirgavo bhavantunah. May the winds bring us happiness. May the rivers carry happiness to us. May the herbs give us happiness. May night and day yield us happiness. May the dust of the earth bring us happiness. May the heavens give us happiness. May the trees give us happiness. May the sun pour down happiness. May the cows yield happiness. Atma me shuddhyantam jyotiraham viraja vipapma bhoya sagga swaha. Antaratma me shuddhyantam jyotiraham viraja vipapma bhuyasam. Paramatma me shuddhyantam jyotiraham viraja vipapma bhuyasam. May my body become pure. May I be free from impurities and sin. May I realize myself as the light divine. May my mind become pure. May I be free from impurity and sin. May I realize myself as the light divine. May I be free from impurity and sin. May I realize as myself as the light divine, and so on and so forth. So the entire nature was considered divine, considered as our mother, and that is how the concept of God as mother has come down to us in different forms, in the Vedas, Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, Atharvana Veda, and later in the Upanishads and Bhagavad Gita. So this is what our responsibility is. Swami Vivekananda beautifully says, there are many things to be done in our country. There are many things to be done in our country, but means are wanting. There's a deficit of means, the process, the pranalika. We have brains but no hands. We have the doctrine of Vedanta, but we have not the power to reduce it into practice. In our books, there is the doctrine of universal equality, but in work we make great distinctions. It was in India that unselfish and disinterested work of the most exalted type was preached. But in practice, we are awfully cruel, awfully heartless, unable to think of anything besides our own mass of flesh bodies. I too believe that India will awake again if anybody could love with all his heart the people of the country. Bereft of the grace of affluence, of blasted fortune, lost, downtrodden, ever-starved, quarrelsome and envious, then only will India awake, when hundreds of large-hearted men and women, giving up all desires of enjoying the luxuries of life, will long and exert themselves to their utmost for the well-being of the millions of their countrymen, who are gradually sinking lower and lower in the vortex of destitution and ignorance. Let us all work hard, my brethren. This is no time for sleep. On our work depends the coming of the India of the future. She is there ready waiting. She is only sleeping. Arise and awake and see her seated here on her eternal throne, rejuvenated. Rejuvenated, the word used by Swami Vivekananda. We have just used the word resurgent India, awakened India, or India which will awake from her deep, long sleep. More glorious than she ever was, this motherland of ours. Next he continues, carry the light and life of the Vedanta to every door and wake up the divinity in hidden within every soul. So these webinars that we have organized, or we have been organizing last 4 months nearly now, since the pandemic is there from March, we took it up from May, June onwards to share this knowledge with all the youth, youngsters, and young professionals who can make a difference, taking the lessons from the past, whether it's education, whether it's medicine, whether it's agriculture, whether it's music, whether it's arts, whether it's economics. There's so much that India can give or should give to the whole world. How long can we be slaves? How can we just keep borrowing from other countries? Yes, we can learn, we can share, but at the same time, Vivekananda's vision was India should be the Jagat Guru of the world. Nothing less than that would satisfy Vivekananda and other great leaders. So these are some of the points which we are sharing with the youngsters of India, the modern India. And one more point I want to share with all the participants here. Hundreds of them will join and hundreds more will view through YouTube and other channels in the future. Swamiji says, in the first place, I would ask mankind to recognize this maxim, this truth. Do not destroy. Iconoclastic reformers do no good to the world. Break not, pull not anything down, but build a new India. Help if you can. If you cannot, fold your hands and stand by and see things happening. Do not injure. If you cannot render help, take man where he stands. And from there, give him a lift. Push him upward. What can you and I do? Do you think you can teach even a child? You cannot. The child teaches himself. You are a facilitator. I'm a facilitator. These webinars are facilitating new ideas to enter into the society at the time when everything is negative, everything is uncertain, full of tension, lot of misunderstanding about the health, about wealth, about life itself, committing suicides, addictions, domestic violence. Why all this is happening? Somewhere down the line, we have missed the music. We have missed that vibrations, the positive vibrations. So every Sunday, relentlessly, without a break, we have been organizing this. And today we are taking a leap forward of going back to agriculture, Vedic agriculture, because agriculture has been misunderstood, misrepresented, especially in the urban areas. The convent-going children, the children in international schools, they have not seen how paddy becomes rice. Because somebody buys for them, they go to the mall, they go to the restaurant, eat something, throw something, waste something. Even how food should be respected has been taught in the Upanishads. Annam nanindyat tad vratam, Taittiriya Upanishad says. Do not criticize food. Make it a vratam. What you cannot eat, a cow can eat, or somebody else can eat. Why are you criticizing the food produced by our forefathers? What happened to the vadiyalu, which our grandmother, grandfather, and aunties used to make in the rooftops? We used to go like run behind silently, take a little of that raw pindi which was being dried up for vadiyalu, eat it and run away. So tasty it was, so joyful it was. Today, le chips, ah chips, wo chips, and spoiling our life, and then going to the doctor and paying another 10,000 rupees. So this is a paradox which we are passing through. So that is why we thought the youth of India who are also in the field of agriculture, who are making some efforts to bring back that ancient wisdom in modern terms, which Vivekananda wanted very much. And we shall work on this. He said, laboring classes of India. Swamiji is addressing the laboring classes, the peasants, the farmers, the fritter seller on the roadsides, in the villages. He is addressing them. Who cares to think of you? Your ancestors wrote a few philosophical works, built a number of temples, while those whose heart's blood has contributed to all the progress that has been made in the world, well, who cares to praise them? The world-conquering heroes of spirituality, war, poetry are in the eyes of all, and they have received the homage of mankind. Many turn out to be heroes when they have got some great task to perform. Keep the motto before you, elevation of the masses without injuring their religion. In another beautiful passage, Swami Vivekananda says, utter no words of condemnation. Close your lips, let your hearts open. Work out the salvation of this land, the whole and of the whole world, each of you thinking that the entire burden is on your shoulders. Let new India arise from the peasant's cottage, from the huts of the fisherman, the cobbler, the sweeper. Let her spring from the grocer's shop, from beside the oven of the fritter seller. Let her emanate from the factory, from marts and from markets. Let her emerge from groves and forests, from hills and mountains. Let New India rise. So that is why he used to give a slogan, Jago Bharat, awake, O India. And who will do it? The youth of India. And who will do it? Who will give us food? The poor farmers, the agriculturists, the laboring class. So there is a lot of effort going on in different ways by different people. Let us learn, let us absorb. This is not a forum, or this one is not a controversial subject. This is a subject for knowledge. Ano madra kritavo yantu vishwataha, says the Upanishads. Let noble thoughts come to us from all directions. Some will take it, some will not take it, doesn't matter, according to the ability to digest the food. I keep a lot of sweets and lot of masalas on the other side. A man of diabetes should not take the sweet, so he will not touch it. He may go to some ordinary stuff or some protein, something which can help him stay put. So this is spreading the knowledge of the ancient past in the present, so that the future of India will be rejuvenated, will be regenerated, will be so fruitful, so happy, without much health problems, without diseases. That is the ideal state that we have, that we desire, that we have a goal. So this particular session, we have two interesting people, Kautilya Krishna from Hyderabad, studying in Tirupati, and our own faculty, Balaji Sukumar. And to introduce this guest speaker today, first we shall have Kautilya Krishna to talk to us about Vedic agriculture and what work and how these experiments are going on in his own way. We request our volunteer, Pranit Sagar, to introduce the guest speaker. Pranit.
Yes, Maharaj. My namaskar to Holy Trio, my pranams to Swamiji, my namaskar to the speakers and all the people who are present on this webinar. Now I would like to introduce Kautilya ji. Kautilya ji is a renowned Vedic farming researcher, currently the founder of Krishibharatham Trust, and is associated with many international and national organizations as a Vedic farming advisor. Presently pursuing Acharya MA in Yajurveda Bhashyam at National Sanskrit University, Tirupati. With experience in agriculture, Kautilya brings his expertise in identifying, analyzing the farmer behavior. He's a farmer with a deep understanding of various Vedic rituals associated with farming, have inspired many people to inculcate farming as an occupation. He has been playing a major role in the society by collaborating to profitable and responsible solving some of the world's key challenges. He has transformed a chemical cultivation farm to organic farm in 1 acre. Kautilya has conducted multiple awareness camps on the importance of natural Vedic cultivation. In the year 2017, Kautilya has converted 2 acres of chemical cultivation farms to organic farms. In the month of June 2019, Kautilya has performed his second experiment on Krishi Prasanna, on vegetables, millets, nirvara, red rice, on 3 acres at Kashipet village, followed by planned awareness session on Vrishabhotsavam to 71 villages in the month of October 2019. This is about Kautilya ji. Thank you so much, Swamiji, for giving this wonderful opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pranit. And welcome to Kautilya Krishna ji for participating in this webinar. Thank you very much for participating. We welcome you, and our volunteers and other participants are eager to listen to you about Vedic agriculture for a new India. Kautilya.
Vande Sanatanam. Parashara Namaskritya Krishikarma Vivechanam. Krishakanam Hitartaya Bruto Krishi Parasharaha. Vyasam Vasishta Naptaram Shaktir Gautama Kalmasham Parasharatmajam Vande Sukatatam Saponidhi. The basic thank you for the introduction. Thank you, Ramakrishna Math, for coming forward and sharing the knowledge of the greatness of the Vedas and the agriculture. The agriculture is the base. Thank you, and thank you, National Sanskrit University, for sharing the ideas of this and the production of books in the library, around 130,000 of books. Thank you, Swamiji. And we'll go the session forward. First, for this all Vedic agriculture, the father, the Maharshi who has started the Vedic agriculture, he is Maharshi Parasara. Fortunately, there are many more universities in the world compared agriculture. Even the universities of veterinary, the universities of plant, many are there. But when it comes to Maharshi, no one has an idea that the Maharshi has started the system. Not only the Parashara Maharshi, he is the one first started. That's the reason I have said Vyasam Vasishta Naptaram Shakti Bhautama Kalisham. The Parashara Maharshi, the Vasishta Parampara, Vasishta Maharshi, Vasishta Gotra, from that Shakti, then after Parashara. Parashara Maharshi has written the agriculture system, not only agriculture, Jyotisha and metallurgy and astrology, astronomy, agriculture science and Vriksha Ayurveda, Pashu Ayurveda, Go Ayurveda, these many of them. So these are all written by Parashara. So Parashara is the base of complete agriculture system. I request everyone to please note some points because this agriculture system now completely is it is in extinct position. No one has idea. Now everyone is coming back to again organic farming, but the ancestors completely, even in the villages now, most of them without unknowingly they are doing Vedic farming. I will share some experiences, then we'll go forward how where the references are there in Veda, Upanishads, Puranas, Itihasas. All we will discuss how many Maharshis are there. We'll go forward. Before that, now let me think about the agriculture system. The complete universities are giving some seeds, and the farmers, they are cultivating the different types of varieties. But when it comes to the reality, is the seed is associated with Veda. If you go further, if we take some seeds, for suppose there are some varieties of rice varieties, there are some plants, we take a neem, or we can take people or banyan. These are all the plants. These are completely associated with Vriksha Ayurveda. Again, Vriksha Ayurveda associated with Atharvana Ved. So these are all given to the knowledge. When I visited some villages, what the villagers are saying is they have some idea. For suppose if we take 100 years before, when we travel the villages, in the villages there are around 90 to 100-year age people. If we speak with them, they says the nakshatra, 27 nakshatras, they says the vastu, they says the plant, the importance and characteristics of plant, and they says the importance of bhumi, and they says the crop yielding, and they says the varieties. These are all the knowledge. Even they wear the dhoti, they don't know how to wear the pant. They don't know jeans. They're completely into tradition. I was shocked how the knowledge just came, because the Shastra, what I studied, the same knowledge is there to the 90 years old. Then I started asking him, where did you find it? Then he said, my ancestors taught me. Then what about the next generations? No. You take any personality around 50 to 60 years, they have only 20% of knowledge now, because they have seen what they have seen, that is completely reduced down because of innovations. We accept the innovations, we promote the innovations, but we should not lose our originality. We lost our originality. You take the seed, you take the bhumi, you take the water, you take the plant, you take the bulls, you take the cow, you whatever you want. All the innovations are differently the scientist has created, but when it comes to an end, there is nothing. Because, for example, we carried the water for since years. What has happened? We carried, and excess of plastic has become, again the scientists has came back and they start saying, please avoid plastic, let's protect our ecological balance, environment. They're saying, this is what happening. But the Maharshi, he never said that the bottle should carry. It said in different ways. They have taken in different. This is what, the what we call it as cucumber. Even in cucumber also they have taken the water. There are many different. So what I supposed to say is, before knowing the Vedic knowledge, let's see the village atmospheres now, then we'll go back to the Vedic, because this complete Vedic culture is completely in the village system, but now it's completely it is in the extent position. Even farmers, they not even trust the desi seeds, the parampara. They are not protecting bulls, they are not protecting desi seeds, they are not protecting plants. They are destroying everything because they don't have knowledge. Now the knowledge has been completely changed, completely, because of our education systems. The completely, it was completely ruined off. The Vedic system, if I say something, it was shocking. Is it mentioned in Veda? Yes. Veda is type of a knowledge, is completely weakened from morning to night. Even our thinking is also associated with the Sanatan Dharma. Even the seed, even the go, Vrishaba, you take plant, everything is associated with Sanatan Dharma, that nothing but Veda. When the Maharshis, everyone said the same. Everyone has different ideas about astrology, astronomy. You take Pashu Ayurveda. No one has an idea in now in present generation. Everyone is thinking about Vedic agriculture. There is also one different concept, that is Pashu Ayurveda. No one has idea at all. So Pashu Ayurveda, everything is the base only for the, you take food technology system, you take agriculture system for crops, you take millets, you take plants, everything is part of agriculture. So agriculture is the base. So Patanjali Maharshi has said, many quoted, not only Patanjali, Parashara, Kashyapa. Now recently I have traveled the tribal villages of Arunachal Pradesh and Assam. What I supposed to see is, the crop they are selected, the seeds, or they are not purchasing outside. They only purchase the salt, all the varieties. You take even the food, there are separate homes, separate houses for protection of crop, separate houses for goats, ducks, everything. Even the duck do the agriculture, help the farmer in his crop, in his field. When it compares to now, because of the innovations, we are the farmer is not supposed to give a little amount of rices or seeds to the animals also. It, even in the villages, when you travel the villages, when we observe the village, we don't find bulls, we don't find cows, we don't find bullock carts, we don't find huts, like we don't find cow dung, and we don't find goats, we don't find ducks, we don't find Ayurvedic plants. We don't find anything. The completely, even the urbanization has come into rural, and the people are, they don't know, they are completely in confusion. No one is there. Some scientist come forward and says you be this, you earn money, you do this. So everyone was, but the tradition, the prachina sampada, we call it as, it is the seeds, the plants, the cow, the bull. These are all, they have protected our ancestors only for us and for our next generations. But when we have started the agriculture or whatever the subject, we are losing our roots. We are just cutting our roots, and we are saying a word, we are modernized, and we are destroying all everything. So in this, we'll go some forward. The villages, uh, they are in such a way that the Assamese, they eat 3 times a rice. 3 times they eat daily, morning, afternoon, and night. The variety is also associated with Veda. The rice variety is associated with Pakashastra. The cooking, the kitchen is associated with Pakashastra. And the construction of the Vastu, it is with Jyotisha. And the cows and bulls, with according to the Pashu Ayurveda, is connected. I was shocked. How do you know all this? And the rice varieties completely is associated with Bhojana Kutuhala, Kshema Kutuhala, and Ayurveda, Charaka Samhita, what Charaka and Susruta, what they have said, exactly they are implementing the same. And we call it as Natu Vaidya. When it compares to us in urban, we don't now, because of this COVID, everyone has started doing some, they're growing their own vegetables, roof gardening, they have started. Before this, the roof gardening was also mentioned in the Shastras. It was there, with clear. Even the organic farming, most of the farming methods are completely associated with Bruksha Ayurveda. So, like us, the farmers up to now, all the generations around, before 100 years, before the revolt of the Sepoy Mutiny or British, the knowledge was came, but now for the next generations, future generations, no, it's not spreading because everything has stopped because of the education. They are coming villages in the, we can't find youth in the villages. We can find the youth in mud or in some nearby urban areas or in playground or somewhere. But if we all go in different in this way, who will do the agriculture? What the next generations? What the generations will eat the rice? How you most of the people are now going to software in different ways. But when it comes to food, when it comes to time, dinner time happens, rice has to be taken, or lunch time has comes, then rice has to be taken. When we take the rice only, the trupti, the satisfaction will be there in this all the complete Bharat. So now we compare to now we'll go Maharshis, what Maharshis has said. There are some references in Rig Veda, Atharvana Veda, Yajur Veda, and even also in Sama Veda. The Sama Veda is completely music. Which mantras has to played in the farm? Which mantras has to be chanted in the farm uh, with the help of like animals and manure and everything? How can we protect our agriculture system, plants and everything? Maharshis has clearly explained. In this, the major role was played by Parashara Maharshi and Kashyapa Maharshi, even Parashurama. When the land was given to Kerala, most of the Brahmins and most of the Kshatriyas, everyone started asking him, the Parashurama Maharshi, to how can we do cultivation in this salty land. So he has given the ultimate knowledge to everyone. So if we go further, now the agriculture system in the urbanized, now the farmers are saying in a way this, we can't grow any seeds without agriculture university. The veterinary people are saying, without the veterinary doctor, we don't know how to protect our cows or bulls or any animals. This is what happening. The goat, Yadava, these Yadavas are completely, they are protecting the goats and all this. Even when I spoke with them, they were saying that they observe all the varieties. They know how many goats are there, how many are going goat and sheep. So they know everything. So if one get diseased, they know clarity that someone has disease that should be kept, and they have to wait for veterinary. Veterinary has to come forward and they should give something. This is what happened. Completely dependency. But the ancestor, they never dependent on any other. They know all the knowledge about the Natu Vaidyam. They know Ayurvedam. They know all the plant life characteristics and everything. So this is now village. I have traveled more than 300 to 500 villages. Most of the villages, the farmers are not in a way to trust the bhumi, the plant, the water, and the atmosphere, and even the sun god also. This is what happened now because of the education system. So now this is what's happening. So if we go to the Vedic system is completely in a way that the everyone, even the even the organism, you take any living entity, has a quality called gratitude. But now we don't have. We are completely in a way that selfish. It has become. Because how? Because we are neglected Vedas, we are neglected Puranas, Shastras, and we don't know what we are eating. For example, if I take pizza or burger, is this associated with Veda? We love to eat, but when it comes to annam, yes, it is associated. You take any plant life, it is, yes, we have the references. Any cow, yes, there are references, many references. Bull, yes. You take bhumi, yes, Shatapatha Brahmana clearly explains about the bhumi. Ajurveda, it very clearly explains about the bhumi, when the land has to be in which direction. Even now, the university, the National Sanskrit University, the astrology team, we have started a new that about the everyone has know about the vastu of the home. But but with coming vastu of the Krishi Kshetra is going to start by National Sanskrit University. So this is what happening in the villages. They don't trust anything. Now, when I go to the Maharshis, what they have said, If you take Veda, there is a reference in Rig Veda when to plow the land, when to sow the seed. And Jyotisha Shastra, yes, even the Jyotisha Shastra, they have references when to, we call it as Bija Vapanam, Bija Rakshanam, it is there clearly. And there are some yogas also, like Amruta Yoga, Siddha Yoga, Pushkara Yoga. These are all mentioned very clearly in Jyotisham, which nakshatra and which plant has to be planted at the time. And coming to, if we take Rama, the Rama period, Ishwaku period, Rama has said, Kachite Daitaha Krishi Goraksha Jivanaha Vartayam Samskrutastat Loke Hi Sukamedate. The cow, the agriculture, the bull, and all the water, the Panchabhutas should be protected. And this world attains happiness and prosperity only through agriculture, Vartha. Ram, he clearly, Bhagwan Ram is clearly has mentioned that this is the main importance. Even in Mahabharata, if you take, when in the Mahabharata, Bhishma is also said to the Yudhishthira in such a way that your leadership should not destroy the agriculture system. He has been clearly mentioned. Bhishma to Yudhishthira. When we go to upwards, like Kautilya, even in Kautilya, most of us, we know that Kautilya is a Pandit, has written Ardhashastra, but there are Ardhashastra economics, there are mentioned compulsory Pashu Palanam is there, and agriculture is also mentioned clearly in Ardhashastra. But unfortunately, we have thousands of people has written, but most of the people are is not awareness about the Ardhashastra. So if we take Patanjali Maharshi, he is clearly mentioned in his Mahabhashya that this world is, this land is considered rich because it takes care of its cattle and agriculture. He clearly mentioned in his Mahabhashya. So if you take Parashurama Maharshi, Parashurama, but Lord Parashurama is also clearly explained, those who do not attain agriculture need not to subsist on this earth. He clearly, because he is completely into warfield, right? So he has given such an honor, because how much the work might be, but the food we have taken, that the only few are there to produce the rice, or you take any varieties, we have very few, but we have to replace them. That's the reason we have to come forward. If you take Parashara Maharshi, he has been clearly mentioned that annam hi dhanya sanjatam dhanyam krushya vinanacha tasmat sarvam parityacha krushim yatnena karyet. Tasmat sarvam parityacha krushim yatnena karyet. That means whatever the weight might be, because we have to eat. That's the reason we have to do agriculture. We may not possible, but at least some time we have to give for the agriculture. We have to motivate the farmers to do the desi varieties. This have to be protected. So even Parashar Maharshi has said, even Kashyap Maharshi is a Prajapati, he has clearly mentioned. So if you go forward, there are some, this Vedic agriculture system means it's not only about the agriculture. Food technology is also part. As I mentioned before, Pashu Ayurveda, everything is part. So in this, we have taken 6 to 7 concepts. The 7 concepts is, the first one is Agnihotra, and the second is Jyotisha, and third is Bija Vapanam, Bija Rakshanam, Bija Samrakshanam, and the fourth is Bhumi Puja. The fifth, Vrishabha Puja and Go Puja. Sixth, Vrishabhotsavam. This is the festival. We lost the festival. Again, we are getting back to this festival. Should be performed in this. It's coming on November 16th. So again, the 7th is Lakshmi Puja. And the 8th is the importance of the rice and all the varieties. In this, all the Vedic agriculture system will work on these, all the concepts present. Because this is very new to everyone. Because everyone is shocking. Where is there, is this mentioned in the Vedas? Yes. Everything what we have in front of the trees or everything has mentioned. Even the characteristics has been mentioned. Even in Vedas, Puranas, Upanishads, and all this, it has been clearly mentioned. The thing is, no one is familiar with those, because no one is reading those. because everyone is busy in modern. If you go from forward, there is in Rig Veda, it is clearly mentioned that Kshetrapati Sukta, Parjanya Sukta, Go Sukta, Vrishaba Sukta, Aushadhi Sukta for plants, Anna Sukta for rice, and Krishi Sukta for agriculture, and Anna Samruddhi Sukta. And when we cooking, there is also a Sukta. But most of them now they don't have idea at all. So these are all the basics, because the farmer, what he produce, that whole world has to take it. So the farmer is the main. So in this all, the first thing what we have to take it is Agnihotra. Why we have to perform this Agnihotra? Let me explain you clearly. Now, because of this COVID, everyone was started to do vegetables, roof gardening, what we can say. And most of them, they directly, when the COVID has started in Hyderabad or urbanized cities, everyone started going to villages. Most of the city in Hyderabad, most of the people, they directly went to farmhouses, because they have started a farmhouses surrounding of all the urban cities. They went there, and they, got the farmhouse completely protected with trees, and they just sit and they just relax. So this is what the village atmosphere were there. But now, if you travel village, we can't find ecological balance. There is no ecological, you can say, environment or pollution, completely because of excess of chemical. If we stays for in a farm for 5 to 10 minutes, we can't even stay. The migraine or sinus will start everything. And if we can't even drink the water from the field, pharmacy directly says, no, I have added chemical to that, so I never drink. The farmer, they stop at drinking water from the wells also. This is what happening village community now. But we know now we are drinking filtered water. Even we are also urbanized people, even we drink the same. This is what happening. So when we go to the Agnihotra, when we perform this Agnihotra, the ecological balance will be there. We call it as Dhyuloka, the top. When we perform the Agnihotra, so this is the cow dung. When we perform the Agnihotra, at sunrise and sunset with the two mantras, the Vayu, we call it, the air, it goes to upward direction, and it gives some positive vibrations over there, and in return we'll get nutritious rain. Everyone will think about what is this nutritious rain. Is it there? Yes, we can find B6, B12, most of the vitamins in the water. Even this knowledge is also they don't have in the urban people or even the cities, like in villages. So this is what happening. So that's the reason when we do this Agnihotra, the pathogenic bacteria will come, like in the morning and in the evening. When we do this Agnihotra, so the pathogenic bacteria will be destroyed, and the aura of this Agnihotra, the air, it will be protected until sunset. Even again, if you perform the same Agnihotra in the sunset, then again from up to next morning until again sunrise, this air will be protected. You can do experiment in your home. We have some I will give you an example of this Agnihotra. We have some modern, like we have some doctors in the Hyderabad, and universities, many universities are doing this experiment. Even some many in abroad also, most of the universities, they are doing these experiments in Agnihotra. I'll give you a small example. There is a center called Vivekananda Medical Center in Hayatnagar. The doctor, he is also a devotee. He has every day morning he does the Agnihotra, and even the sunset he does the Agnihotra. He starts his clinic from morning 9 o'clock till ends around 10 o'clock in the night. Until that time, around 70 to 100 patients every day, they used to come and visit the doctor. Since morning and since night, the doctor, he completely stands and he gives the treatment continuously without even the little bit of aura will not be gone. This how I have seen practically. This is happening. Even the COVID time, He completely started treating all the patients. But Agnihotra is the main. This Agnihotra has to be performed. This is the food for the plant. Everyone knows that plant, we need only the water. Water is required. No, plant required music. Plant required love. Plant feels plant feels pain, and plants gives excitement when you do the Agnihotra. This was done research by Denver University, the Temple Bill College, Denver, and we have some scientists who have done. I'll give you some names from Bharat. We can take Sir Chandrasekhar Azad. He have done some research that he can said that the plant replies for the music. Like if you play the rock music, the plant dies within a days. Completely rock music. If you keep it as normal, it just gives a normal growth. But when you add some sitar or something like some instruments which is associated, which is connected to Veda, then the plant gives more and more within less than generation, the days before. This is what the plant responds. So we don't have out we don't even know that plant responds to us. We directly harvest. So Agnihotra is the food for the plant. So for the trees, when something has happens to the plant, then we can add Agnihotra ash and cow ghee to the plant. We have some universities from Pune and MJ University. And not only that, if you go further, Charles Darwin, he has finded that Agnihotra ash, when we add to the plant can also be think, the plant thinks. When we add the Agnihotra ash, automatically the plant gets more strength. Luther Burbank is also a one. He communicated with them. It has been proved. Institute of Vedic Sciences, Institute for Studies in Vedic Sciences, Akalkot, Maharashtra. Even they have some references on this. This is what Agnihotra. We have to compulsory do the Agnihotra because everyone want to do Agnihotra. Then we can do the ecological balance, to protection of the plants or agriculture, the fields, the aura. It protects the field, it protects the plant, it gives new vibrations to us. It reduces the negative vibrations in the home, and it reduces the psychological disorders. Not only that, most of the even in West Germany, a doctor, they started homotherapy. Homotherapy is nothing but this Agnihotra. This is called the performing of Agnihotra in the morning and in the evening. It is called as homotherapy, homa based farming. So I request everyone to do Agnihotra compulsory. It is completely associated with Ajurvedam. So Agnihotra should be performed in the morning and in the evening, sunrise and sunset. So if you go further, the second concept is Jyotisha, because it is a very vast subject, Jyotisha. Uh, there are some nakshatras. We have 27 nakshatras. In 27 nakshatras, according to oscillations, so we have to plant, we have to protect the seed, and everything is there. If we find Amavasya, then our plant will get some disease. Even our seed also gets some disease because of this pathogenic bacteria, and so many bacteria are there will come. But when we do this Agnihotra or some type of Yajna, then it can be protected. So again, the Agnihotra plays a crucial role in the Jyotisha also. So Jyotisha, there are some nakshatras. In these nakshatras, the seed should be sown, the ploughing should be done, and the puja has to be done. So according to Jyotisha only, the whole system is following. Like when we take some any CM office, you take everything. So everyone is completely associated with Jyotisha. So all the 9 planets will help us, and the Saptarishis will help us, and Chiranjeevis, everyone will help us when we follow the Jyotisha, because Parashara is the one, the main, has written on Jyotisha also. When we go some forward, like Bija Rakshanam and Bija Samrakshanam, when I traveled in the tribal villages, all the villages, they protected seed in such a way that they usually will not go into that. Completely it covered with cow dung, and the only the with the sticks, normal sticks, they protected the seed. But when it comes to now in the villages, we can't even find seeds in the farmer's home. This is what happening now, because we completely dependent on some other. There is no protection of bijam. The farmers also, they taking the seed in plastic bag, because in the villages also it has become, because when we take it in the plastic bag, there is the difference is, we can't, the seed is also has the seed gives there for next generation. So even seed has to take some oxygen. Now we don't find it because of this. When we take in the jute bag, the what Maharshi has said, it should be kept in separate place. The moisture content should not be there. The gritam or honey or water or whatever, even the curd, it should not be thrown on the seed. When we want to use the seed, then we have to use the seed. Now this knowledge is also not there in the villages, but when it compares to the 100 years, everyone will say the same, yes, this we have protected seed in different way. Even with the agnihotra ash, again the seed, it comes into agnihotra ash, because when we protect the seed from through the agnihotra ash, then what has happens, the bacteria will not enter, because the ash will protect the seed. So some scientists, universities, has been clearly mentioned that yes, Chandrasekhar Azad University, Kanpur, in 1989, in the protection of seed, and into Pune, there is an MJ University, even they did the same. And if you go further, uh, we can take Bhumi Puja. Parashara Maharshi clearly mentioned that there are some mantras from for Bhumi Puja. Why should we do Bhumi Puja? I will tell you clearly with a mantra. Vasudehima Garbhasi Sheshasho Parishayini Charachra Krute Devi Dehime Vanchitam Phalam Vasundara Mahabhage Baushesha Phalaprade Devaragni Namoste Shubhage Shishakarini. This mantra says that please give excess of crop. The farmer prayer to the mother Bhumi that please give me excess of crop. Let the crop will be given to all the living entities, even the animals, plants, and the birds and everything. This is what the mantra for the bhumi. Now the farmer, they not even doing the bhumi puja. So that's the reason those completely, we maximum we are in the extent position that we can't even find the seeds, or we can't find Bhumi Pujas, or why should we do? We have become like this. So again, we have to get back to the again Bhumi Puja. So when we go back to again in Bhumi Puja, we have some references like Bhumi Sukta, and we can in the references of Atharvana Veda, and there are some mentioned in Rig Veda, and you can take Shatapatha Brahmana and Parashara Smriti, Kashyapa Krishi Sukti, Aitreya Brahmana, Shatapatha Brahmana, Taittreya Samhita. These are all mentioned about the importance of Bhumi. Even some Upanishads also, you can take Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, it has been clearly mentioned about the Bhumi. uh, Most of the content we can find it Shatapatha Brahmana. So if we take again further, if we go Vrishabha and Go Puja. I have traveled around 300 villages in you can take Tirupati nearby areas, and even in Telangana. Most of the villages is completely of Jersey, and there is no the Ongol breed. We have a scientist and we have veterinary team. When I spoke with them, where the original breed, where can we find? Where did you brought? They know what they have said. We have brought it from Brazil. You know, if this is our breed, Ongol breed. This is the Ongol, we call it as Mahoksha from Amarkosha. Now we can't find the breed because we have to get it from other countries because of our negligence. The seeds, the happen, this is the same. When it comes to plants, yes, even the shastras, yes, we have to look for like what I best homa based farming or homa therapy, and we have to look at Germany. What about Bharat? How the Bharat has changed? Why? So Vrishabha, when it comes to Vrishabha, this is the main bija. In this Vedic agriculture, bija has to be protected compulsory, but now we don't have bija. We lost the bija. Again, we have to get it back to the bija. So the bija means the bull, the seed, And not the seed and the bija is the main now, the bhumi. So everything, whatever you take Prakriti, the Prakriti is comes under completely from Bhumi. So our Bhumi has to be protected, Vrishabha has to be protected, Go has to be protected. So when it comes to Vrishabha, now we don't have in our villages. So everyone using some innovations or technology. When they are using the modern technology, the land is becoming so hot that now we can't even keep our bulls in the villages. Like we can't use it for agriculture operations. Even bulls, they lost the agriculture. Even farmer has to treat it, but farmer has to say. But the farmer hasn't. He don't have knowledge. He knows how much liter of petrol, diesel is used in the tractor. For a hour, how much money he has to take. The farmer has known this, but when it compares to the plowing in the village, in the land, the farmer, most of the young, they don't know how to plow with bulls. So this is what happening. Even bulls, they don't have that much of strength. Again, we have to improve the bija. We have to develop the bulls in the villages. So when it comes to Maharshi Parasara, he clearly mentioned when we perform in the plowing, there is a mantra. Shunamna pala vikrushantu bhumi, shunamna kshina viyantu vahe, shunam parjanyo praduna prayavihi, shunashira sunamastu ghitam. What that means is, may the plowshare break up our land happily, may the plowman go happily with oxen, may rain clouds happily shower water, and Sunasira Devata grant us prosperity. Now you tell me, the Vedic agriculture is again is that known or without known? The farmers, when they do the plowing, when they do the Bhumi Puja in ancestors, they used to do the same. The meaning what I have said, they did the same. They don't know, they forgot the mantra because of tongue. We can't say Ucharana, we call it as. They don't have. But when it comes to meaning, they did the same. That's the reason until now we protected some desi varieties, even the bija or go, because of this only. So if we look at Vrishabhotsavam, Vrishabhotsavam is a festival uh, started by Parashara Maharshi. The festival should be performed on the first day of Kartika. Now it's coming on November 16. Kartika Shuddha Padhyami. Most of us, they don't have idea. In Hyderabad, we are doing the festival for buffaloes. We call it as Satat. But the Maharshi, he clearly mentioned that our bulls has to be protected, and because backbone of farmer is bull, but now we don't find the bulls because farmer is also dependent on tractor because of paying. He has to purchase again, he have to invest, keep on investment, again he has to replacement. Again, this is what happening, the pollution is creating. We cannot reduce the pollution. We can reduce the pollution only through the bulls in the villages. So for again it gets to ecological balance. So farmer is a main. So when we perform this festival, again we can protect our bulls. If you look at in the Bharat, Akhanda Bharat, we don't have bulls. Only in the Tamil Nadu, because of this Jallikattu, they are protecting some bulls. But when it comes to Andhra and Telangana, you just have a look, there is no bulls in the villages. All the bulls are going for slaughter. All the bulls are castrated. If all the bulls are castrated, how the next generations will come? All the people, farmers are completely dependent on veterinary. So veterinary are giving some injections. They're giving some injections, semen injections. What is happening when the semen injections are giving? The 30% only the growth is there. Most of the 70%, the cow, it loses sexual pleasure. This is what happening. The prakriti, everyone will enjoy. Even the same time, the all the animals, God has given permission to them directly. The prakriti says them, they automatically get enjoyed. But now it's completely different. Even all the living entities now completely depend on the farmer. So the farmer, the idea has to change. Again, we have to get back, the gratitude should come forward. So this Vrishabhotsavam has to be performed in the villages. When the Kartika month changes, all the diseases will come to the animals through people, the farmers. So one after one, That's the reason Maharshi Parasara has clearly mentioned that this festival has to be performed on the first day of Kartika Shuddha Padyami. So now again we started this festival. In coming days again, he clearly mentioned in Gavapanishad, a cow or bull is not in home, then it is inauspicious. So again, we have to get back. If this is what Gaur Upanishad says, again, if you go back to the village, it is completely associated with Gaur Upanishad. Every home, if you look at in the villages, in some villages, when very far to urban, in the villages, in every village they have some cow or bull in the home. I have seen some places like in Chhattisgarh, the farmers they protect the cows, they keep the cows in the home and they sleep out because the wild animals they come and attack. So this is I have seen the tribals. So this is the complete tribal. Everyone is completely associated with this Vedic system. But when it because of the innovations, we ourselves neglected and we destroyed our own culture. So if we go further, we say is Lakshmi Puja. Lakshmi Puja is the main while harvesting the crop. Whatever the bija we have given in the field, the bija is given for the next generations, for the next complete, what ancestors are given. Rama is also protected seed, Parashurama is also protected, Parashurama, Parashara, Kashyapa. You take these are all protected seeds. That's the reason now again we all can use these desi varieties. But now what has happened, we can't even find this. While doing this Lakshmi Puja, while even the plant, Maharshi says, plant can feel love, plant can feel pain, plant can excite. The same time, I will share you the personal, what recently when I started when I harvested the Krishna Vrihi, exactly 10 days back, my mother, she started crying and she was saying, the plant responds to me and I have harvested the plant. Now the bija is for again I have to wait for 6 months. Again the bija will come. The plant has given for us, but we don't even have gratitude that we don't even respect the plant. We don't give the water. Maharshi has clearly mentioned that the whatever the plant we have to look like the plant is like our children. So this is what our Shastra says. We are not against at all to any living entity. The Maharshi is clearly explains that. So again we have to respect the plant, we have to give honor to the plant, we have to give this Agnihotra ash or give water and everything. We have to see like our children. So even the paddy, even the seeds. So when we take the rice, we have taken the rice now, we are eating everyday rice. Let us assume now all the people started asking, is the black variety what I have recently cultivated Krishna Prihi? Everyone was started asking how this rice variety, where the reference is there. I never seen this, I never heard this. But when we go to the Shastra, it has been clearly mentioned. Bhima, he has eaten different types of rice varieties, he has cooked. You can take the Paka Shastra, these are the references. And when we see the rice varieties, is the rice varieties connected to the Veda? If we go forward, most of the rice varieties in Telangana or in the Bharat, no, we don't have the rice varieties. With the rice, what we are taking is not the rice mentioned in the Veda. This is what we in the neglect. We are completely in the negligence. We don't have an idea what we are taking. The Maharshis and the Narayana, he has created the rice varieties that whatever the health issues might come, everything will be the disease, not even, why the Maharshis are not diseased. Everyone, they take different types of varieties. But what about now? We completely, from every family, 4 hours, one will be thyroid, one will be diabetes, one will be migraine or sinus. This is what happening. The food what we are taking, the digestive system itself is also associated with the parampara. That's the reason when we take the Ayurveda, when we take the Patya, when we follow the Patya, then yes, we follow Ayurveda and our thinking will also be changed. That's the reason the rice varieties what we have taken. Through this seminar also, most of the participants, I request everyone to let's protect our seed. We have to protect our seed for the next generations. The seed should not be modified. The seed, what the Maharshis, what the system Parampara has given, this is also a part of Sanatan Dharma, has to be protected. So I request everyone, let's come forward, let's protect our culture, which is in completely extinct position. Again, we have to go back to culture. These are the main Bhumi, Vayu, Jalam, and you take atmosphere, and you can take Go, Vrishabha, and if you go further, Bija. I will try to show you the Bija. What we have, why I feel very happy is when I show this rice variety, the Rama and the Charaka. You take Parashurama, Parashara. Everyone has shown this rice variety. I can show you. This is the rice. You can have a look. So this is the seed, Krishna Brihi. Now we can't even find this variety. Maharshi, he clearly explained that we can, if we neglect the field, we can't even grow anything. But if we protect, if we have a look observation on the field, we can grow gold. This is the gold. Why I'm saying this is for the diabetes and those are affecting from different types of diseases. This is a gold for them. This is what Parashara Maharshi clearly explained. It's mentioned in the Smritas and all those. That's the reason without knowingly everyone has taken this. But now we have to take this bija from America. We have to purchase it with the permission of government. There is no permission to carry in the flight. So we have to ask them and we have to get the seed. This is the rice variety. Not only this, we have many varieties. Even if you have look in the Google, this black rice, they says that the China is the protector and is the patent right is taken from China. How this is possible? Charaka Samhita is clearly mentioned. Veda, we can say in Taittiriya Samhita, it's clearly mentioned. These are the rice varieties as there. But what about now? Now we don't have. We are taking rice varieties. We have taken white rice, and we are saying yes, this rice. We have to take this. We have to take this, and we are getting some type of advertisements that no need to take rice. We take into different. This is what happened. Now we are completely into the Vedic agriculture system. Everything, even the dress, what we are taking. This is also associate. This is also connected with Veda. When we do Purnahuti, even we use we keep the cotton. It is came from the farmer. He has to keep it. So he has produced it. Again, we have to keep it for the Yajna Bhavan. He carries to Deva Devatas. So I request everyone, let's protect our bija, let's protect our Sanatana Dharma like Go, Vrishabha and Bhumi and Prakriti. Let's move forward for the younger generation because we are temporary, but coming next generations, again we have to give. Even now, we start saying about ecological balance, environment, we say all this. But when it comes to reality, we are losing the references of the plants which we are transplanting in front of our homes or in the streets or all this. We lost all these plants also. So again, with the references, again we have to get back. So let's work for the Sanatana Dharma again for the future generations. Yeah, Swamiji.
Yes, it has been very, very rich knowledge that you have shared with all of us. Just to conclude your idea, what do you suggest for the modern young boys in the metros and in the urban areas to take it up? In brief, what is your suggestion and advice?
Yes. Most of the youth, now everyone is completely into different fields. But the researches should be done. The education institutions, everyone has to take this. The way what the Vedas has said, again the researches has to be started. Now we don't have any researches everyone like Agnihotra, or you can take any seed varieties, or you can take any cow or bull. All these has to be come forward. Even most of them don't know about the importance of cow dung also. The importance of cow dung is also mentioned in Shatapatha Brahmana because it contains moisture holding capacity it requires for the soil. So, my dear youth, everyone, let's all work for the protection of these all these, and that everyone has to do researches. Start reading the Vedas, Puranas, Upanishads. Just start it. We have a university like National Sanskrit University will help you in different. We have 1,30,000 books, as I mentioned earlier. You can read all those books. You can learn for all these. Sanskrit is the base. Without learning Sanskrit, again we should be dependent on some other country or some other. Germany is the country now. Maximum most of the people are speaking Sanskrit. So everyone has to come forward, take the Shastras. Again, they have to read it, and everyone please come forward. And what the Swami Vivekananda ji has said for the next generations, for youth only the strength for this, only youth can take this. Youngsters, we take the from the experiences from the elder people, but youth has to come forward. Let's work for it together.
Absolutely wonderful, absolutely truthful and honest presentation of the ancient values. We shall wait for observations later. Now I request our volunteer and singer Anirudh Sharma, if you can render a bhajan on the Divine Mother. Anirudh Sharma, please.
Pranam Maharaj. My
Yes,
pranam to the
Anirudh.
Holy Trio and Pranam Kautilya ji. It is such a pleasure to listen to you. I hope I'm audible. Very well.
Yeah, fine.
So actually my father himself, now we are into farming. So it is very informative to listen to this session.
Your responsibility
Yes,
to take
Maharaj.
music to farming.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I am going to be singing one bhajan on Devi, Ma Kali. So I don't know who the composer is, but when I heard it, I thought this is such a beautiful bhajan. Rag Amrita Varshini and Tal is Chautal of Pakhavaj.
Wonderful.
I think Amrita Varshini is also much in relevance with farming.
Yeah.
जय जय महाकाली जय जय महाकाली दुर्गे भवानी जय जय महाकाली दुर्गे भवानी जय जय महाकाली दुर्गे भवानी देवी महाशक्ति अम्बा भवानी जय जय महाकाली दुर्गे भवानी जय जय महाकाली पर ब्रह्म रूपा शक्ति स्वरूपा पर ब्रह्म रूपा शक्ति स्वरूपा नारायणी मां शिवानी दयानी नारायणी मां शिवानी अम्बा भवानी जय जय महाकाली 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 जय जय महाकाली. Thank you for this opportunity, Maharaj. Pranam.
The entire forum, entire nature will be so vibrant.
Yes, Maharaj.
Jai Jai Mahakali, Jai Ma Durga. Wonderful. And your talent is multifaceted now.
Thank you.
Double role, 2 in 1.
Yes. The lockdown has taught all instrumentalists, all musicians to be independent now.
Yes, yes. Atmanirbhar.
Yes,
Atmanirbhar.
Atmanirbhar. Yes, Maharaj.
Thank you very much,
you for the
Anirudh.
opportunity.
May Mother
Thank you,
bless you the next in this period of Navaratri.
Thank you so much, Maharaj.
So we go forward with to listen to and interact with Balaji Sukumar, the faculty of Vivekananda Institute of Human Excellence. Balaji, thank you very much for joining us. You have been a great friend and a great faculty. Balaji is a civil engineer by profession, my dear friends. Interesting, with an MBA in marketing. He worked in different corporates for 10 years, started his own business and built it across the entire country, and started training students and entrepreneurs on mind management, goal setting, etc. In 2012, 8 years back, Sri Balaji Sukumar started natural farming and built a successful and profitable farming activity too. He now trains farmers on natural farming methods and has been a good associate, a good devotee of Ramakrishna Math, Hyderabad and Vivekananda Institute of Human Excellence, and has been teaching here last 10 years and traveling all over the country, visiting places and being with nature. It's a wonderful approach for Balaji to rejuvenate himself and comes back fresh and new ideas to share with the youngsters in our institute. I request him to share for a few minutes his experience in farming and how the youth can take this forward. Over to Balaji.
Thank you, Swamiji. Pranams to everybody, and thanks a lot, Swamiji, for giving me this opportunity. And thanks a lot, Kautilya ji, for you really created new dreams in me. About the Vedic farming, right? And I hope I am audible to everybody.
Well, it's audible, but if we can keep it stationary, the picture is shaking a lot.
Yeah. Right. Thank you. Yeah. I'm basically a civil engineer. I've completed my engineering almost 30 plus years back, and for anything to do, any work to do, I strongly believe that there should be a reason to do something, because today people I see around 150 plus participants today, but everybody may get excited. They want to do something for farming, and they may decide to use a desi variety of rice or whatever. But after this session is over, the whole world again conquers our mind sometimes, most of the times. So what I believe is unless you have a strong reason to do something, nothing can be done. The same thing happened to me because I am a civil engineer. I started my business a long time back, 22 years back, but I never dreamt of becoming a farmer. Today I'm a full-time farmer. I do natural farming, but I never dreamt of becoming a farmer. But one reason actually that made me to think about farming is one of my main dream. I keep telling in my classes also that one of my dream is to die healthy. Today people are dying in hospitals on ventilators, giving their hard-earned money to hospitals and doctors. My house, my family is filled with the doctors. My father, my father's brothers, my brother, my brother's wife, my sister's husband, everybody are doctors in different fields. So I know the kind of diseases that people get attacked, and fortunately or unfortunately, to create a dream, I got attacked with blood pressure at the age of 29 years. When I was 29, I had a high BP. Now it's not there, right? I mean, at 29, I got high BP, and I asked my father, who was a doctor. He said, like, yeah, it's quite common. We have in our genes. So welcome to the family. So he said, welcome to the family. But my question to my father was, did my grandfather had blood pressure? And he said, yeah, he had everything. He died of brain attack. So he had blood pressure. He had rheumatoid arthritis. He had, he told certain names which today are common in everybody. He said, then I asked my father, at what age did he get all these things? He said, at the age of 70 plus, he got all these things. He expired around 80 plus. And even my father had all these things. He's also having all these diseases, fancy diseases. But he said, like my father said, I got all these things from the age of 50, and I got at the age of 29. So I asked my father, why is it so? My father said, it's our lifestyle. We are used to our lifestyle. We are used to the kind of pollution, uncontrollable pollution, and things like that, which are actually bringing the modifications, or you call it as mutation or whatever, in our genetic conditions, and we are getting all these things. Can't we reverse it? No, how can we reverse it? Then my research started. I started studying about health, and I did some nutrition course, and I understood that there are certain factors which we can actually control, and one of the factor we can actually control is our food that we are eating. The food is something which we can really control. Okay. One day, we generally eat leafy vegetables. I stay in a place called Ashok Nagar, very near to Ramakrishna Math. So one day I asked this vegetable vendor from where he gets these leafy vegetables. He said from an area called Uppal in Hyderabad. So I visited. I went to Uppal to see if to get fresh leafy vegetables, and I came back with a kind of a fear in my mind, because the whole Uppal area where these leafy vegetables are getting cultivated is a industrial effluent affected area, where the soil is completely affected with a lot of industrial effluents, and I know for sure that soil will have a lot of lead content and things like that, which are actually causing all sorts of damages to our body. So I said, like, the problem is with our food. If I want to change the food, I have to cultivate myself, the food that we eat. So that's how the dream of becoming a farmer came to me. In the year 2012, I actually bought the land that I'm cultivating my food today. It's near Suryapet. I do farming. It's about 150 km. My farm is about 150, exactly 150 kilometers from my house. You don't believe, I drive on my two-wheeler every week to my farm. Okay, only in these COVID conditions, I just it got delayed. Now I'm not driving so much, but I know before COVID, I drive every week. So 2012, I bought the land, and the person who actually sold me this land is a big farmer in that village. He had about 40 acres, and he sold me about 16 acres to me. I bought it, but I felt very unhappy to listen to the reason why he sold that land to me. He wanted to send his son to a European country for higher education. And try to understand this. A farmer is sending his son to a higher education to European country, and he's selling off his land to a person who don't even know farming. Okay, and when I went to that village to do farming, I decided to do natural farming. I attended some classes, and I was really excited. I don't have any background of farming, not even ABC of farming. Like Kautilya ji said, Swami ji said, maybe I come to a category where I used to think like rice comes from market, not from the field. That kind of person I was, and with that I entered into a farm, and with a dream of doing natural farming and eating a proper food. And I bought my cow and all these things, whatever is prescribed to do that. And every farmer in that village started laughing at me. They started telling in Telugu, "Avu utsato, avu pedato ela cultivate chestavu." You understand that with cow urine and cow dung, how can you really cultivate? This guy came from Hyderabad, investing so much of money. I think definitely one day, very soon, he's going to go away from this village. I never bothered about them, but I took it as my own dream. I took it as my dream. that whole farm, I have to make it into organic or natural, natural cultivation. It was a kind of a mixed process of success and failure. For the first 3 to 5 years, almost 5 years. It's 2012 I started. Now we are in 2020, fag end of 2020. It's almost 8 years that I started my agriculture. For 3 years, it is it's a kind of a loss that I was incurring in terms of economy. But I was investing. I was investing onto the land. I was creating the land. I was rejuvenating the land. But I was learning from people like Kautilya Krishna, many other people, many other eminent people. One of the work I did was every month I used to attend some seminar or other done by these kind of eminent farmers on natural farming, organic farming, all these things. And I started creating what is called as I created the soil. I created the soil. I call it as Amrita Matti. I call it as Amrita Matti. Okay, Amrit Mitti, you can call it as. I created that in my farm. I created almost 5 tons of Amrit Mitti. That was my fertilizer. That was my fertilizer. I mean, you don't believe, my dear friends who are all participating here, farming is a phenomenal activity. You're not supposed to look it as a business actually, but definitely once you understand farming, profitability will also be there. Believe me, profitability will be there. One more reason I was thinking about profitability about farming is, today if you look at our GDP, almost 60 to 70% of our GDP is from agriculture, and farmer is the poorest person in this country. I hope you understand the kind of gap that is there. 60 to 70% of our country's GDP is agriculture, and farmer is the poorest man. I mean, there lies a gap. When you really think about it like a contrarian, if there is a gap, there will be an opportunity. Today, why a young person is unable to think about farming is only one reason, that he is attached to money. People think that money can give you lifestyle. Yeah, money definitely will give you lifestyle, but certain thought processes which are being cultivated because of our present education system, that unless you do a job, you cannot really become successful. These are all certain wrong thought processes actually. These are, I keep talking in my training programs also about different paradigms that we carry and things like that. I don't want to get into that right now here, but these are the gaps that I saw, which I saw them as an opportunity to become a farmer. 3 years was a kind of a investing period for me. I was investing my time, my money. I was creating the soil. The expected yield was not up to the extent of what every farmer thinks about. And second gap that I found was in the marketing system. Every farmer in the village, I see in many villages also, farmer cultivates his crop, and he goes to the market and falls into the trap of the middleman. And middleman becomes a ring. They have unity. Exactly at the time when farmer is ready to sell his produce, they bring the rates down. Though there is a required selling price that the government is suggesting, but they tell some reason or other, and the rate comes down, and the farmer gets very small amount of money. So I decided that I am not going to visit the market at any point of time, and I create my own marketing network. See, we're all educated, right? I mean, all of us who are participating here, we're all highly educated. We know how to do it. And I use the social media as my platform to create my network of my clients. Today, I have so much of clientele that even before, this season, I mean, last season, where the product is being sold now, even one dana of rice didn't come to my home, except for what I want to eat. What I mean to say is everything is pre-booked now, because the clients that they use my product, they pre-book my agriculture output. Okay, even the time of when it is getting ready for harvesting, they say, Balaji, I need this much of rice, this much of such a product. This time I cultivated haldi also. It came out very well, and people started. I cultivated earlier small quantity, and from then on they started. Again, it is a pre-booking kind of a thing. So marketing also I could do it. See, we're all like educated people with traditional knowledge. And let me tell you, whatever we're getting educated is not bad, but getting stuck in that frame of mind that unless you have a job, unless you have a certain thing, unless you have such and such a background, you cannot become successful. These kind of things, those paradigms we have to break, and we have to become independent. This is how I started my journey in agriculture. Today I can proudly say that I am a profitable farmer. I'm a profitable farmer. I'm not a loss making farmer. Okay, I'm a profitable farmer, and definitely these things, everybody who are participating in this webinar may get excited by listening to Kautilya Krishna about farming, and you want to start Vedic farming or whatever you want to start, but start doing some research and practically start applying it. Like many investment gurus says, a small amount of money that you earn, you save back and invest into something. Maybe start investing into your own farming activity. One of the best investment I can say, your own farming. Okay, right? Start doing it. Maybe as Kautilya ji said, you can start with your roof garden. Maybe not even roof garden, maybe a balcony garden sometimes. Maybe in your balconies, you can start cultivating your own small plants and that you want to eat, things like that. Have you heard about black turmeric? Have you heard about black ginger? There are many things. Even I went to the northeastern states. Definitely, as he was telling, as our eminent speaker was telling today, northeastern side, the Vedic system is still there. Believe me, when I say some practical experiences, when I cultivated my Amrit Mitti and when I cultivated my own method of cultivation using these techniques of farming, we have something called as Doma Potu. When the rains come down and the winter season comes, when the harvesting time comes, we get something called as Doma Potu. They kind of a mosquito kind of a thing. Okay, some fly comes and eats away the farm. Okay, we call it as Doma Potu, Doma Katu. Believe me, my farm will never get affected with that particular fly, because the seed is strong. When the seed is something like this, you may have a season change. Some people get affected with the season change. Some people will not get affected. There's a question of immunity. Today, COVID talks about more immunity. Everybody are talking about immunity and things like that. So when your seed is proper, the seed's immunity will be proper and the output will be proper. Even the leaf will become proper. When there is a strong immunity, the Shatru Purugulu, whatever, which are coming to eat the seed or eat the plant will not come there because it is strong. Okay, and also I learned that when you maintain the ecology properly. I told my guy who is working with me in the farm, never cut never cut any plant that is growing in the farm. Every plant has its own medicinal value. Okay, what we call as a weed. For example, Jilledu, right? Jilledu, yeah. Jilledu, we don't even eat. We just throw it away. But actually, it is a wonderful. It can be a wonderful supplement to fruit plants. Certain defects can be controlled. There are so many like this. Whatever. Even the people are afraid of a plant called as Congress grass. In our area, we call it as Vayari Bhama. It just grows with the it just spreads on the soil with the air, and I cultivated a wonderful compost with this Congress grass, which gives a wonderful result. Before it's the flowering starts, I did that. It gives a wonderful result. Okay, there are many things like that, many techniques. You can actually whatever today the agricultural scientists say you should not have such a plant in your farm. These can be used to your benefit. There are many such techniques you can always cultivate, and being with the nature, you become healthy also. Today I am out of all the medications. Actually, the BP, EP, and all these things, they are away from me, because even I became stronger, right? So definitely, I encourage everybody to think about farming as one of your business activity. Definitely think it like a business. Start investing. First, invest in the knowledge. Practically apply it in your home and start expanding yourself. And definitely, one day, I'm pretty sure that in another decade's time, everybody in India will be cultivating. Farming will be again a major activity in the family. And thank you very much for me, for Swamiji, for giving me this opportunity. And back to Swamiji. Thank you, Swamiji.
Thank you, Balaji. Very insightful, very inspiring, and margadarshak for the younger generation. There is a small observation made by one of our participants who says, how can we have Vedic outlook but still agricultural output, which has to cater to a huge demand of the population? What is your idea on this?
Yeah, see, today, after being 8 years in agriculture, my output is equivalent to a chemical farm's output. In fact, sometimes more also. It is a paradigm again, Swamiji and everybody, that people say that organic output will be less than the chemical output. No, it is not. In fact, we cultivate what you call intercropping. Like we do more crops in one small place. Monocrop is again a bad thing or a bad paradigm that is given to the farmers today. You actually need to have a multi-crop. For example, I cultivated turmeric last year. In between the turmeric plantation, I cultivated tur dal also, that kandi plants also. That actually helped. They helped each other. Okay, like that, there are many things which you can learn. Everybody can learn. The paradigm that organic output or a naturally cultivated output will be less than the chemical output is baseless. You can get a very good quality with a good, even a good output also.
Okay. When we take that ancient knowledge in the present times, because the population, can we be able to produce that much?
Yes, Swamiji, we can do that. We can do that.
A kind of observation from Kautilya ji, me uddesham.
So simple. What I have said, I have collected this seed, right? This I have collected this much, I think around 250 grains I have collected from tribals. Now it is around 10 quintals. This is what we have done from Vedic Bookshire Veda experiment. Even through organic farming also, we can cultivate more. When it compares to the cost, the chemical, here we are protecting our land and we are getting more money through this seed, because it is the seed of the cost of this seed is around 2,100 per kg. So when it compares to out, tribals, they normally eat it. When it compares to it, this is the cost. So when it compares to chemical farming, they don't have the seed at all. They don't have idea at all. So the Vedic process, what the Maharshis and what the Balaji Sukumarji has said, the same. The demand, it is not reduced at all. Organic, even, the word organic has came from the same. One started chemical farming and another started organic farming. Now everyone was, the whole world is doing organic farming and Bharat is doing chemical farming. Again, some came forward and again started organic farming. Again, we are changing in this route. But when we know the exact knowledge, then we'll know the Prakriti. When there is no observation of Prakriti. Once we start the observation of the Prakriti, Bhumi, all the plants, then we'll get an exact idea and we can earn the money, we can protect the beach, and we can give for the next generations also, for the beach also, because the health issues also will be completely neglected, completely reduced. Yes, Swami.
Some amount of balance has to be brought out.
Exactly.
Between farming and the content, the quantity that goes into the market for the good of the nation.
Yes.
Balaji, there's a small observation from one of our participants. A kind of training, need the middle class and poor who have less land, cannot invest or do organic. They need training and MSP for selling. Still, same people cannot believe and farmers cannot do marketing. You brought the idea of marketing, This product has to go into even whether it's books or whether it is rice, it has to go into the market, good for the society. What do you suggest for a training or some kind of
yes, Swamiji. Actually, what happens is all these doubts that they have, these are all paradigms. They are not real. Once they have a strong dream of why they should do this, these things will go away, because middle class people, farmer is a poor person, See, for example, today if I say the word called farmer, immediately people will only get a picture of a person with a turban tied like this and sitting, looking at the, waiting for the rain to come and things like that. A poor man with these are all paradigms. It is, for example, if today money is stopping you from doing farming, who is stopping you from earning money? Why are you waiting for a job, somebody to come and give you a job? I mean, that's the way you have to think. If that thought process comes, nothing can stop you. And about marketing, if you tell, see, unless you tell, today you have social media, forget about tradition, whatever the farmers today, whoever is asking this question, you have social media in your hand. You have a poor farmer there. You can become that bridge. Maybe you can start with that marketing, earn money, invest back into farming. That can be an opportunity. You may not immediately buy hundreds of acres of land. Maybe there is a gap for marketing. If there is a gap in marketing of organic produce, you become the bridge. That also creates an opportunity for you as a livelihood for you. So these are all the paradigms, the way you have to think.
Yeah,
I think that answers.
Agree with you. Yeah, absolutely. Is Mr. Justice Krishna Mohanji online? Justice Krishna Mohan from Andhra High Court, our good friend. If you are there, can you just share your opinion, sir? Justice Krishna Mohan. Is it Justice Krishna Mohan on the line? Yeah. Somebody is there, Krishna Mohan. I thought whether he's one of the judges of the High Court who is my close friend, our good friend. No. Okay. But there is a small observation, Jeeb, if you can, some Kautilya and others, couple of youngsters who may aspire to take this up, can they contact you and see after COVID reduces or sometime? It says you can, who are serious about Vedic farming, I'll ask them to contact you and give your email and mobile number to them. It will be placed on record. Those who are interested can contact and see that the message can go forward. As regards our volunteers and Balaji, will visit your forum once and spend some time.
Yes, definitely.
We would purchase something for Ramakrishna Math also.
Yeah, definitely. We'll do that. We'll definitely.
The black rice, your nice haldi, nice vegetables that you are producing. We'll see. We'll make some nice prasadam to Sri Ramakrishna, and see that some people are taking that, and it will help us also. In short, Balaji, if you can just a brief outline about the reality, the observation made by our good friend from Pune said the effect on ground zero, that is the farming bill. You have some idea about it? The farming bill?
Okay.
The bill which has been passed? A brief outline. Yes,
that's a very good question, in fact. In fact, farming bill that has been recently brought, it became a proper act now. It is with a long thinking, long thought process, for-mindedness of this government. Unnecessarily, the opposition parties, again, not to bring any politics here, okay, but they're all doing all these things just to, taking the advantage of the uneducation, not the farmer being not educated, but actually this farming bill will definitely make a farmer as an entrepreneur. It is actually meant for that. It is up to the farmers to really make use of it. I tell some of my friends who are actually opposing this bill, I told them if your real dar is the big corporates will come into the farming and they may exploit, why don't you start educating farmers not to get exploited? Because everybody, see, for example, you take Ramdev Baba. Today is a multinational, multi-crore industry. I know I studied my engineering in a college called Pullareddy Engineering College in Kurnool, established by eminent person G. Pullareddy. Yeah. We used to see him, we used to meet him, we used to talk to him. He's not alive today, but he was an entrepreneur. He started with selling sweets on a cycle and became an entrepreneur. So why, if you are opposing that bill only for the reason that the corporates may exploit, why can't you go into the industry Why can't you go into the farming community, take this as an opportunity, create there are, you have a concept of FPOs and all these things, again supported by the government. Why can't you educate them and create FPOs in the villages, in the societies? You be the front end person, rather than just criticizing and telling that government is not doing anything. This is a great opportunity for farming community. This particular bill is a really good opportunity for them. It can make a farmer an entrepreneur.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Balaji. Wonderful ideas. And Kautilya ji, where can the students or young people get some books on this culture, Vedic agriculture? Any printed books available online, offline, where they can?
Actually, Swamiji, what has happened? There is no publications of these books also.
Okay, okay.
So, National Sanskrit University, you can find some books, and you can find some books in Osmania University, available in Hyderabad. But you can Asian Agro History. There is an organization, Y.L. Neneji and Nalini Shadili and Majumbar. They have written the books. Now there is no printing of these books. But if we want to start, then we can take these books from the universities, from National Sanskrit University, Osmania.
Okay. In your where you are studying for higher study purpose, in Tirupati also?
Yes, in Tirupati. Yes, we have many universities. Even the thing is, we don't spend time in the libraries. That is
yes. Or in the forum and practicals and studies.
Exactly. We have 130,000 books.
Yeah.
But very few take all those books and those references. Very few. If we start doing on this, everyone will get an idea. When the Gruha Sutras, what we are now following, when to eat, when to sleep, when to chant the mantra, everything is clearly mentioned in the Shastras, Manusmriti, everything is there. But no one has idea to read it.
Why don't you write a book? A booklet. The suggestion has come from one participant. If Balaji and Kautilya can come together and good idea. And, share the knowledge.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea, Swamiji.
Kautilya garu, matadkondi.
I am already connected on Facebook with Kautilya ji already.
Yeah. So wonderful presentation, and many questions may come, observations will be there. I request them to write to our institute email. We shall forward to the concerned people, whether it is Balaji or Kautilya ji or anybody else. For example, hyderabad.vihe@rkmm.org. It will probably put on this one by our faculty, by our volunteers. Please write, and we shall do the needful for seeing that this message will spread in the whole country. It's already 1 o'clock. We are 2 hours into this. We shall conclude now. We cannot take this much forward. And any questions, etc., please write to us. We will forward it to the concerned persons. And may I request our volunteer to conclude with a small bhajan on Swami Vivekananda. Sri Charita, please.
Yes. Namaste, Swamiji. Namaste to all the participants. So today we are, myself and Deepshika, volunteers of VIHE, are going to present a bhajan called Bhuvana Mandale. It is a bhajan on Swami Vivekananda. Let the dawn of the message of Swami Vivekananda arise in every youth's heart, everyone's heart, and imbibe this message. So that's the meaning, and it has a very great meaning. So let's hear it. भुवनमण्डले नवयुगमुदयतु सदा विवेकानन्दमयं सुविवेकमयं स्वानन्दमयं भुवनमण्डले नवयुगमुदयतु सदा विवेकानन्दमयं सुविवेकमयं स्वानन्दमयम् तमोमयं जनजीवनमथुना निष्क्रियतालस्याग्रस्तम् रजोमयमिदं किं वा बहुधा क्रोधलोभमोहाभिगतम् भक्ति ज्ञानकर्म भक्ति ज्ञान कर्म विज्ञानै भवतु सात्विकोद्योतमयम् सदा विवेकानन्दमयम् सुविवेकमयं स्वानन्दमयम्
वह्निवायुजलबलविवर्धकं पाञ्चभौतिकं विज्ञानम् सलिलनिधितलं गगनमण्डलं करतलफलमिव पूर्वाणम् दिक्षु विकीर्णं मनुजकुलमिदं दिक्षु विकीर्णं मनुजकुलमिदं घटयतु चैककुटुम्बमयं सदा विवेकानन्दमयं सुविवेकमयं स्वानन्दमयम्
सगुणाकारं ह्यगुणाकारं एकाकारमनेकाकारं भजन्ति ये ते भजन्तु देवं स्वस्वनिष्ठया विमत्सरम् विश्वधर्ममिममुदारभावं विश्वधर्ममिममुदारभावं प्रवर्धयतु सौहार्दमयं सदा विवेकानन्दमयं सुविवेकमयं स्वानन्दमयम्
जीवे जीवे शिवस्वरूपं सदा भावयतु सेवायां श्रीमदूर्जितं महामानवं समर्चयतु निजपूजायां चरतु मानवोऽयं सुहितकरं चरतु मानवोऽयं सुहितकरं धर्मं सेवात्यागमयं सदा विवेकानन्दमयं सुविवेकमयं स्वानन्दमयम् भुवनमण्डले नवयुगमुदयतु सदा विवेकानन्दमयं सुविवेकमयं स्वानन्दमयं सुविवेकमयं स्वानन्दमयं सुविवेकमयं स्वानन्दमयम्.
Thank you, Charita ji. Thank you, Deepshika ji, for a wonderful rendering. Bhuvana Mandale Navayugam Udayatu. A new awakening, a new in the eastern horizon of Swami Vivekananda's message. Past, present and future, in every field, in every direction, let us follow Swamiji and contribute for the welfare of the nation. Thank you, Vandanam, Dhanyavadam, Kautilya ji. Wonderful insights, good appreciations are coming from different people. They want to talk to you and also make it more interesting, vibrant. So this is a very good platform. And everybody thanks you for their wonderful insight that you have given. You have connected the past with the present so that the future will be bright and beautiful. Vandanam, once again, may Mother Durga bless you, Kautilya ji. Balaji also, wonderful insight, brief, precise, and to the point. And every participant is happy and they have gained not just inspiration, as you said, they have gained some insight, gained some knowledge. I think based on this, let us take this message forward and spread it amongst the educated and re-educate the educated, as Swamiji wanted. Re-education of the educated. He said, yes. Swami said, people criticize me talking about the past, but that is where our roots are. India is a great past, a vibrant past, a powerful past, a pure ancestry, pure religion, pure culture. And from there, let us draw and make a difference in modern life. That is the vision of Swamiji, which we are trying to explore and explain and implement through human excellence. And I thank all the participants, hundreds of them in different channels. And this will be uploaded in the Vivekananda Institute Human Excellence YouTube channel for the benefit of all the people in the whole country who could not attend or for some reason who will watch it later due to Navaratri celebration. So may Mother Durga bless all of you. May Navaratri celebration be sacred and peaceful for health reasons, for overcoming COVID fear. And let the new year after Navaratri give us more insight, more joy, and more wisdom. We shall meet little later. Next Sunday will be Ashtami Mahanavami celebrations. So we may not be able to have the webinar due to the pujas in the Math and other places. Maybe we'll give a small holiday, Navaratri vacation, and have the webinar on different topic, different insights the coming Sunday. So thank you very much. Vandanam. Om Sarvamangalamangallye Shive Sarvartha Sadike Sharanye Trayambake Gauri Narayani Namostute Narayani Namostute Narayani Namostute. Om Shanti 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 Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Vandanam, thank you, and may Mother Durga bless all of us once again. Yes. Are Baba.